Khan's article discusses the political effects of alienating public spaces. To start off with, I would like to talk about phantasmagorias, a type of 18th century magic lantern that was used to project images of ghosts onto transparent screens, walls, and smokes. Fascinated by phantasmagorias, Walter Benjamin, a German philosopher, also thought that the term phantasmagoria could be associated with places where people retreat to in order to get distracted, much like public places that are used for entertainment today, like theaters. Khan's main discussion is that of Jean-Jacques Rousseau, who heavily criticized the use of public space for entertainment. For Rousseau, the theater presented a false sense of community. People came together in the theater, but there was no real interaction that took place. Rousseau thought interaction, civic duty, and political discussion should occur in public spaces. Rousseau was against building a theater in Geneva because he thought that the consumerism inherent in theater would lead to the city's fall. Theater, he thought, was individualistic and inaccessible to the poor. Rousseau's other criticism of theater is associated with a social concern. For example, the actor playing a thief extends his influence and transforms the society. In such cases, corruption can occur. For Rousseau, theater can distract evildoers, but in the case of Geneva, and because of Geneva's social context, he thought that theater would attract evildoers. Rousseau says that in the hours one spends watching a play, one forgets their friends, neighbors by creating an illusionary identification with the object on stage. Such a subject-object relation is also dangerous, as people who witness suffering on stage can become numb to such feelings in real life. So a better alternative for Rousseau is circles, or quasi-political social clubs, which encourage political talk and civic duty, along with providing entertainment such as drinking and games. In circles, debates and festivities can take place together. Khan also refers to Jürgen Habermas, a German sociologist, who says that in the 18th century, public places like cafes and salons were used effectively for debates and discussion about public good. With the decline of the bourgeois public sphere, there was less public spaces that encouraged social and political discussion. Habermas says that the growing mass media leaves no room for debate. The relation between mass media and people becomes one of subject and object based on consumerism. With everyone engaging in the same form of dominant entertainment, there is no need for discussion. Two other authors that Khan discusses are Richard Sennett and Guy Debord, who also agree with Rousseau. Debord specifically says that the spectacle hinders the growth of a community that generates dialogue. Furthermore, Debord also argues that we must look beyond the spectacle. He says that the spectacle is a social relationship. Modern people are isolated in many ways in their homes and cubicles at work. Shared experience of mass entertainment offers a way to compensate for isolation. While Debord thinks that the spectacle can create unity among the audience by focusing on a shared object, he nevertheless says that the spectacle itself creates isolation among the audience by separating them from one another. In general, Debord thinks that the world has become a spectacle, a series of images that hides reality. The fascination held with images and illusion that was seen with phantasmagorias still holds true today. With the growing technological innovations, people will want public spaces to be occupied with forms of passive entertainment and consumption. Therefore, consumption validates equality in public spaces. Going back to Rousseau, who was writing in a time when consumerism and industrialization had barely reached such heights, he nevertheless foresaw the decline of the effective use of public spaces. On the other hand, Khan does take into account that discussion and debate can occur after the viewing of a film, play, or television. However, he still states that there needs to be an effective public space that encourages discussion and debate, and that this can only occur when the object object and subject are together in a shared contestable world. I, for the most part, am glad that Khan has asked us to think about the positive aspects of the spectacle. Theater and film are creative outlets not only for actors but also the audience, who may be awed by the spectacle but learn various important things about our society from viewing the spectacle. After all, a play does not involve alien qualities but political perspectives and human emotions that we are able to relate to in some manner. However, for most of the authors discussed by Khan, the growth in the society of the spectacle meant the loss of participation in public life. Therefore, I would like to suggest that the consumption of media may in fact bring about more discussion and debate about the spectacle's relation to our society and politics. Today, the internet has transformed into a sort of public space that has solved many of the shortcomings described by Khan. I have some questions. You guys can read them. Start off with anything you can answer.
Okay, then we need to